lovelies, welcome back to Moments with Bia, where we initiate change with purpose. Today I want to talk to you about achieving personal fulfillment despite infertility. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe so you get notified every time I post a new video, which is every Wednesday. Now, when I talk about achieving personal fulfillment despite infertility, keep in mind that everything that you do in your life begins with you. Your perception of the world you live in. So the question of whether or not personal fulfillment despite infertility can be achieved or not, and if it can be, how to go about it, the question really becomes, what is your perception of the world you live in? How do you approach every situation, every moment, every challenge in your life right now? If you're able to answer this question honestly and truthfully, then the question becomes, is that in line with who you think of when you think of yourself? Infertility affected all areas of my life, but it wasn't until I made a conscious decision to get back on my feet after this epic blow that I felt initially when I was told that I may never be able to have children, that I realized the greater importance, the greater purpose, if you will, of my life and the reason I was experiencing infertility. Now, this in itself was not enough though. I had to accept infertility in my life. I had to accept the fact that infertility was now part of my life and that my time and energy would be better spent in figuring out what I can focus on rather than focusing on something that I had so little, almost no control over. And so achieving that, however, accepting infertility in your life and achieving personal fulfillment despite infertility can be challenging. And that is a true understatement, because that doesn't even begin to describe how difficult this task can actually be. But on the brighter side of that, remember that anything worth doing can and is difficult in life. After struggling with infertility for 11 years, I did become a mother. But because I was able to find a way to accept infertility in my life, I actually learned a few things from infertility. I learned a few concepts that if it wasn't for the infertility challenge life has thrown at me, I would have never learned, I would have never known or believed or be open to or simply give it a chance. So I will share with you today 3 concepts that I consider the base to approaching the concept of achieving that personal fulfillment in your life despite infertility. Control. Control was a very important thing that I learned from my infertility, because it taught me that control is the #1 enemy to your happiness. Why? Because it conditions every event and every moment that you would otherwise feel happy about. And how that happens is that you start thinking things like, I'm gonna feel happy when I have a baby. I'm gonna hang out with my friends and enjoy myself when I'm in their company, when I'm also pregnant or when I also have children. I'm gonna book that trip with my husband or those trips with my husband when we actually finally have a baby, because we love traveling as a family. So we will enjoy these family vacations or family trips more together. So don't do that. That is something that it took me quite a long time to realize, but it is something that I had to force myself to do, even if I thought that it didn't come naturally. Even if I felt that by doing it, I'm just gonna feel more in pain. I'm gonna not be in the moment. I'm not gonna feel happy. It took me a while to realize that, which is one of the reasons I'm actually doing this work, which is one of the reasons I'm actually doing these videos, that I'm hoping you will be able to realize some of these things much, much sooner than I did. So book that trip, because you have control over when you can book that trip and go and enjoy yourself, even though you don't have control of whether or not, this month you're gonna actually be pregnant or not. Don't pause your life, don't stop your life and wait until you get pregnant and have a baby. Just live your life. Patience. Patience, a concept that was never resonating with me. I am not known to be a patient person. But infertility has taught me patience, because patience is a key thing. It's very important when you're going through infertility. So all I'm gonna say is be patient. But I'm not saying this to you to say, be patient, you're gonna get pregnant, you will have a baby. I'm not saying this to make you feel better. I'm saying this to you, be patient, to be patient with yourself, to allow yourself to listen and to learn what infertility has to teach you. Be patient with yourself and try to find yourself in it. Try to find yourself in your infertility and be able to grow from it in order to move forward with it. Perseverance. Perseverance is something that I always thought will eventually deliver your success. If you stay, if you persevere, if you keep at it, eventually you will get to your success. But my definition of success was a little too set. And what I mean by a little too set is that there was no room for flexibility. So perseverance comes with flexibility, has to come with flexibility, has to come with you being open to possibilities that you weren't open to before. Being flexible in remembering your goal as you go through infertility is very, very important. Perseverance helps you do that, but you have to remember to be flexible and to know your goal so that you don't end up persevering for a task rather than a goal, right? So for me, that meant reminding myself why I wanted to become a mother. And that was because I wanted to have a child that I can have this relationship with where I teach my child things about life, things about the world, but where I also learn from my child, or even sometimes relearn certain things about life and what's important and just about the world in general. That was my goal. That was why I wanted to become a mother. And so my goal was to become a mother, but that was why I wanted to become a mother. So I found out through doing this kind of work that it was more important to me to become a mother than it was how I became a mother. And when I was able to accept that, and when I was able to simply let go of the mindset that I had to get pregnant in order to become a mother, and that I had to go through the pregnancy in order to become a mother, I was actually able to move forward with my infertility. And in the end, I did become pregnant, but it was only after I was able to let go. Because infertility, if you want to look at infertility as a person instead of a condition, it is willing to persist for as long as you're willing to resist. And in my case, that proved to be absolutely true. My infertility persisted as long as I resisted. So just keep that in mind and remember to be flexible and to keep your goal in mind as you go through your infertility and as you go through achieving personal fulfillment despite infertility. That is how you achieve personal fulfillment despite infertility. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And please let me know below in the comments, how do you achieve personal fulfillment despite infertility? Do you look for achieving personal fulfillment despite infertility? Until the next video, remember to subscribe so you get notified every time I post a new video, which is every Wednesday. But remember to initiate change with purpose in all areas in your life, including infertility. And I will see you in the next video. Ciao!